Chapter 3. Mr. Granite is from another planet. It was Mr. Granite. Well, it wasn't our Mr. Granite because he was standing right next to us. But the alien who came down the ramp of the spaceship looked just like Mr. Granite. Our teacher, Mr. Granite, who stood there with a look of wonder on his face. "Who are you?" we all asked the alien who looked just like Mr. Granite. "I am Mr. Granite," said the alien. "You can't be Mr. Granite," said Andrea. "Mr. Granite is our teacher, and he's standing right here." "I am Mr. Granite," repeated the alien, who looked just like Mr. Granite. And you'll never believe, in 1,100,000 years, what happened next. 10 more aliens climbed out of the spaceship and came down the ramp, and every one of them looked just like Mr. Granite. "Who are you guys?" we all asked. "I am Mr. Granite. I am Mr. Granite. I am Mr. Granite. I am Mr. Granite." In case you were wondering, all the aliens were saying, "I am Mr. Granite." That was weird. "Will the real Mr. Granite please stand up?" I asked. "They're all the real Mr. Granite," said our teacher, Mr. Granite. "They have come from our home planet, Eknarg." "Yes," said the first alien. "Everybody on Eknarg is named Mr. Granite. Eknarg is granite spelled backwards." "Wow, a whole planet filled with guys named Mr. Granite? That must be confusing. I guess when somebody from Eknarg calls out, 'Hey, Mr. Granite,' everybody turns around." So all the men on your planet look exactly the same?" asked Ryan. "Yes," said Mr. Granite, "and so do all the women." "What? Even the women look like Mr. Granite?" In fact, said one of the alien Mr. Granites, "half of us are women." "Ew, how do you tell the difference between men and women?" I didn't want to know. Our teacher, Mr. Granite, went over and hugged one of the alien Mr. Granites. Then all the other Mr. Granites went over to hug our Mr. Granite. Everybody was hugging everybody else. "Mr. Granite," said Mr. Granite. "Mr. Granite," said the alien who looked just like Mr. Granite. "Mr. Granite, Mr. Granite, Mr. Granite, Mr. Granite." All the Mr. Granites were hugging each other and crying because they hadn't seen Mr. Granite in so long. A meeting of Elvis in so long. It was like a meeting of Elvis impersonators, except they looked like Mr. Granite instead of Elvis. "Did the Earthlings harm you in any way?" one of the Mr. Granites asked our Mr. Granite. "No," Mr. Granite told Mr. Granite. "These are my students, and they were good to me." "On Earth, we're very well behaved," said Andrea, who's such a brown noser that she'll even kiss up to aliens from another planet. "What about the large Earthlings?" asked one of the Mr. Granites. "They have been kind to me," said Mr. Granite. "The principal of the school even gave me the key to the teacher's lounge." The teacher's lounge is a magical secret place where they have hot tubs, back rubs, and all the ice cream and candy you can eat. "Are you going to take over the world and turn us into flesh-eating robots?" I asked one of the Mr. Granites. "I saw that in a movie once. It was cool." "No," said all the Mr. Granites. Are you going to turn us into killer zombie robot slaves?" asked Michael. "No," said all the Mr. Granites. "Then why are you here?" asked Alexia. "We have come to..." The alien Mr. Granite didn't have a chance to finish his sentence because at that very moment, our principal, Mr. Klutz, came running out onto the playground. He has no hair at all. I mean, none. His head is so shiny it squeaks. What's the meaning of this?" asked Mr. Klutz. "Is this some kind of joke?" "No, a joke would be, what's the difference between a guitar?" "No, a joke would be like, what's the difference between a guitar and a fish? You can't tune a fish. Get it? Tune a fish. Tuna fish." Anyway, the point is that Mr. Klutz totally doesn't know what a joke is. These men and women are from the planet Eknard, Andrea told Mr. Klutz. Their names are Mr. Granite. I figured that, said Mr. Klutz. They all look just like our Mr. Granite. To what do we owe the pleasure of your company, Mr. Granites? That's grown-up talk for what are you doing here? We have a very important mission, said one alien Mr. Granite. We have come to take out your Mr. Granite home with us to Eknard. What? Chapter 4.